furries can be considered greatly taboo because we look at people dressing up in furry costumes as being child's play, and it's something that should have been left in the past and not brought into adulthood.
There was some kids dressed up as animals, and I heard that another kid got bit by one of them.
They either bite us, they scratch us, they murder us.
Hi everyone, I'm Blood Moon, and I'm a furry. That's easy to say to the camera, but not necessarily the easiest thing to say to friends or family or even coworkers. But today, I want to talk about this very thing. What to do when the people closest to us, like family and friends, just don't approve of us being furries. Well, if this is something that you face, you are not alone. And hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll have some tools and perspectives to help you cope. Well, with that said, I am not a therapist, just an engineer with a newly acquired taste for the furry fandom. And my wife, well, she is not a fan of my daughter and I being furries. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. Why do some people have a problem with the furry fandom? Overall, I feel that for many, it's just misinformation, stereotypes, or just a lack of understanding, or rather, the unwillingness to understand. Some might think that's just a silly little hobby. Others might have been exposed to a negative media portrayal, or some might just struggle to accept hobbies or identities that they just don't share. As I said before, my wife doesn't really like my daughter and I being furries. She'll make snide comments, roll her eyes, or just make passive-aggressive statements that slowly cut at us. One night, after hours of being chastised, my daughter and I confronted my wife and let her know that her comments just kind of hurt. They're incessant. We're not forcing anything on her. Well, maybe once. We're having fun. Overall, it's something we've had to navigate as a family, and let me tell you, it's not always easy. But we've found a way to make it work. Now, I think the first step would be to try to educate and communicate openly. Sit down and have an open, respectful conversation. Sure, I know that isn't always possible in some situations, and really those cases likely have multiple underlying sources of conflict, whether it's sexual orientation, furry fandom, or whatever the case may be. But the end goal here is for both parties to be willing and open participants in the discussion. Be prepared to share what the furry fandom means to you. Explain that it's just a hobby, a creative outlet, or even a form of self-expression. A lot of the time, people object just because they don't understand what it's really about and only base their judgment upon what they've seen in the media. So, it's your opportunity to provide some education. I mean, watch these next few clips. This is what we've been watching as adults for the past 20 or so years.
So you guys are married?
No, we're just yiffing.
You what?
Yiffing?
Yiffing?
Yes.
What does yiffing mean?
Mating.
Mating.
I'm so confused.
Oh yeah, there you go.
What are you guys doing?
Oh, get there.
What is
right
that?
there, right there, right there, right there. Oh, yeah!
Oh, Lord of mercy.
What is that?
It's what we call scritching.
Scritching?
Yeah, scritching. Here, you should try it.
Okay.
You like that?
Thanks. No,
you like that?
I really
No?
don't.
Okay.
It feels weird.
Oh, that's good. I see that. Yeah, that's real good.
You want to turn around and I'll get the
No,
back?
I'm good.
I can get your backside.
No, I can rub on the door.
But one of the things that I found about these furries is like it's sexual in some sort of weird way. They like to get together and have sex with their furry outfits on, and they don't want people to know who they are or what they want to keep the outfits on.
So it's a cosplay kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a cosplay kink thing.
Tribune, 19 people were hospitalized at a furry convention in Illinois after what's being called an intentional leak of chlorine
What's
gas.
a furry convention?
Did I get that wrong?
leak there? Oh, gosh.
Okay. Officials were called when a strong odor
It
of
is.
chlorine spread.
I think they had to evacuate the building and everything. Sent the hotel guests along with convention attendees into the cold night, many still dressed in their furry costumes.
The media has painted the picture of the furry fandom being comprised of sexual deviants, oddballs who want to use letterboxes, and who truly think that they're dogs or cats or name your favorite persona. Seriously, people, come on, use your brains. Are there some weirdos in the fandom who garner all the attention because of their extremely bizarre behaviors? Absolutely. But that is not what the fandom is as a whole. I've shared with my wife that, for me, It's about the creativity. I love seeing the wide gamut of suits, looking at how they're built and how they move during dance comps and fursuit games, and just how people's personalities can come through and be personified in the suit. Like, it takes on its own personality, or better yet, people's personas are on display. On top of it all, I get to experience a little bit of that fun that I had as a kid before I was forced into the stuffy professional world that I've lived in for the past 20 years. I feel like I can finally let loose a little bit and let the pressures of my demanding job kind of fade away, even if it's just for a little bit, and most importantly, keeping that connection with our daughter. For my daughter, it's a little bit of that social and artistic outlet, as she enjoys the build process, but she's also become quite the furry artist, and sketching furry art has just become part of who she is. The two of us bounce ideas and compare and contrast our thoughts on how things should be built. In the end, we're not trying to change Mom's opinion, but we're at least trying to make sure she understands why the furry fandom is important to us. If open communication and education doesn't work, it's okay to set boundaries. Not everyone is going to get it, and that's fine. What's not fine is letting someone else's disapproval make you feel like you're bad for being yourself. And to be honest, I think this is where my daughter and I have landed. My wife doesn't approve, and we've accepted that. But we do our thing anyway, and we let it be her problem that she doesn't like it, not ours. And that's the key. You don't have to seek approval for enjoying who you are. And then the third step is finding your support system. You know how the furry fandom is referred to as a community? Well, that's for a reason. For many, they've been excluded or shut out, or maybe not specifically for being a furry, but for one reason or another. But many find the furry community open and welcoming, no matter who you are. It's sad to see people hurting and struggling because they've been shut out by family or friends, but within the furry community, you can usually find people who will understand and help you navigate through this rough patch that you're working through. Whether it's online or at conventions, there's always someone out there that's just willing to support you. Now I've made some incredible connections through the fandom, and so has my daughter. When you're surrounded by people who get it, it's really a lot easier to deal with those who don't. And then the fourth step, focus on the positives. Remember why you are a part of the fandom in the first place, whether it's the creativity, the community, or the joy of suiting up. Don't let the negativity take away what you love. At the end of the day, this is about you and what makes you happy. If someone else can't see that, it's okay. Focus on the positives and don't let the negativity overshadow your joy. So how do you cope when family and friends don't accept your furry side? Educate when you can, set boundaries when you need to, find your support system, and always focus on the positive. Do I feel it needs to be public knowledge for everybody at work or school to know that I'm a furry? Of course not. I personally only expose the side of me to a small slice of my friends and family, as really it's none of most of the people's business what I do in my free time. Now, to anyone out there who feels like they're walking this path alone, you're not. I'm there with you, and so are countless others in this amazing community. Remember, being a furry isn't about seeking approval. It's really just about being yourself. If this video has helped you or gave you something to think about, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. How have you dealt with people not approving of your furry side? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep being you. Until next time, take care.